Okay, getting ready to paint the base. I just took the grinder to it and took off as much of the main rust as possible, and get her painted up, and then we'll be close to putting her back together. Alright, base is finally cleaned up and painted. The original sticker on there. Menards 6-inch hand joiner. Okay, first thing we're going to do is go ahead and hang the motor in the mounting brackets. Then we'll move on from there. Alright, basically got the motor hung in here. 4 bolts against the motor strap in the upper bracket. Washer on the other side. Another flat washer. Lock washer. And then that tightening nut. Now, these are all just kind of finger tight in here. The motor's just going to lay in here until we get ready to hook it up to the rest of the machine. So, now time to mount the top plate. Okay, now, these are the mounting bolts for the table movement up and down. These just spin in here, and that helps slide up and down the table. A little bit tricky. You have to get them aligned. You have a bolt and washer down here. You have to hold that up there to tighten it down and try and keep them centered with the center here. We've got 2 bolts for mounting here, 1 on this side. And that's all there is to bolt this machine down. So actually it goes like this. So we get this bolted down and on to the next. Okay, all mounted. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to slide in our cutting head and mount that. Down there. Really only goes in one way. Not a whole lot of side-to-side movement. And each of the studs has a lock washer and a bolt or nut to lock it in place. And just right here underneath the main frame, and get it started properly. Okay, we'll go ahead and get the other side done and get it tightened up. Then on to the next thing. Well, I've been called many things, including dumbass, and what I just did was a dumbass thing to do, because I can't get these tables on because they got to slide down from the top with the cutter head in place. So we'll take that back off, and we'll get the tables mounted. Dumbass. Okay, I've already mounted the outfeed table and put some grease on the bolt. And I'm going to put a little bit more grease now on the ways. Just going to do this by hand. Any place where there's a sliding point. So we're just going to grease up this surface here. Not a whole lot, just enough to get on there and cover it up. Want some protection on there, and then more so for the infeed side, because it's going to tend to be moved more often once you get your blade set. You won't really be moving the outfeed very often, unless you need to make an adjustment because of wear or something like that, or you're putting in a new set of blades. Okay, so down the main surface. Again, I'm just putting on enough on my finger to cover it. Just like that. You don't want a lot of grease in here because it just becomes a dust collector of all the wood particles as you are using the machine. Alright, we'll lift up now. I've got the outfeed table lowered down as far as it goes. Now we just have to kind of line up the waves. Until we get down into the area where the screw can, there we go, it's engaged. Now the other thing we have to do is, let me zoom in a little bit here. Just got to put the gibs in. You can see these ones were cranked down on quite a bit, but I think we'll be okay. Got to straighten them out and clean them up a little bit. They were pretty well beat up. So again, even though we put grease on the rest of it, this is just aluminum too, so they're very soft. You don't really have to crank on these very hard. So somebody was cranking on this thing really hard. And now I'm going to insert it. I'm going to go ahead and use the existing holes. Push over on the table, slide it up until it stops. Grease off my fingers. Okay, now what we want to do is back off all these lock nuts all the way out. So there's basically a bolt. This is the locking mechanism, locking screw, and just the thumb wheel. So what we want to do is crank these in so we're sitting on the gib. And we want to check for movement, side to side, up and down, back and forth. Because there is no adjustment for these to level the table. It's just a straight dovetail in here. So I've got a little bit, so what I'm going to do is just tighten it just enough to make sure there's no slack in there. Okay. And I'll crank her down. Make sure she moves okay, which she is. Crank her down a little bit more. And double check again for any movement as we get down. I'll crank her down even further. What we want to do is make sure there's no play in this as we move it up and down. Now see, got a little looser there. Yeah, there's definitely play there. Of course, this is going to be a lot lower than what it is right now. So, yeah, a little bit of finger there. About a half a turn. That one still seems okay. Let me check it here. Yeah, maybe just a little bit. Make sure that it continues to come down. See if it feels like it gets loose anywhere. It's about all the way down in here. There's slop in there right there, but that's really far down. And then we'll go up and seems to be the bottom end where we have some slack. Check the top end just a tad, and then we'll do that a little bit more. Well, that's off the end of the ways, that's why. I'll back that off. Yeah, being all the way down, I should have checked this portion was still in the way. So let's see if I can bring that up real quick. I want to make sure that that gib is in the way of the table. I don't have the handles on here to turn this. Should have went ahead and put them on, but I didn't. Come on. Got a little bit more to go. See, it's getting really tight in there. Get that off a little bit. Okay. A little bit more. little finicky, just gotta play with it. Actually, I think I'll just put this knob on immediately. Crank this up, that's a lot better. Alright. Okay, we're fully engaged on the way at the top and the bottom. Now let's see if I can do this again without being another dumbass. I'm trying to do this quickly so I don't eat up too much film. Yeah, film, like I'm doing film. It's digital, you bum. Again, dumbass. Okay. Tighten that just snug. Tighten that just snug. Spin in the locks. Tighten that down so they don't move. Gotta keep the tension on the gib. That's good. And then of course that's the thumb screw to lock it in place so it doesn't move on you. But now we do have to move it back down. Down, not up. Of course, what you're looking at is the back end of the machine. I'm in front of the machine. Now I got to get this down far enough so that we can go ahead now and mount the cutter head. Since I was a dumbass before and put it in first, I never would have got it in there. Should be far enough. All right. Now let's go ahead and get our cutter head mounted in. Take off the nuts and the lock washers. Let's see if that shot's still good. Zoom it back out a little bit. Okay. Go ahead now, this is the back end, so the motor pulleys on this side. Alright, starting to look like a planer. That, nut, lock washer and a nut. So our gibs are adjusted. It's not tightened down. There you go. Works. And then we'll go ahead and finish getting this mounted on the other side and tighten up. Then I think what we'll do is we'll get the belt on, adjust the motor to the right height, we'll let gravity do it. We'll show that here in a minute. Alright, got the motor tightened down. My recommendation, if you do this on your own, what I should have done was I should have brought the motor up all the way to the top while the machine was still disassembled, where I could reach in and pull up on it, because it was a pain in the butt to try and lift this thing up high enough with all the equipment in the way to get the belt alignment done. Once you get it up high enough, get the belt on, basically just let the motor then drop down so that it's putting pressure on the belt. And then it just hangs there. Tighten up this bolt here, and because it will sit kind of like this at an angle. And then get in here and pry up the back of the motor and then tighten this one down. That'll put more tension on the belt, and then you can finish tightening everything up. So, was a pain in the butt, but we got her done. Suggestion, mount the motor high, put the belt on, then drop the motor, and then you can tighten it up. Now we'll get it wired up.